to the season ticket. Next split, summer has begun. Sorry, fall has begun rather. First game of the week was summer finals. Oh, sorry, where was it? Where was it? It's week 1 is what I was at. Week 1. I did predict split. For some reason, it got me down as recorded as Fnatic, which wasn't true. I did pick split. You also saw that on the shows previously. But we're into week 2 now, and in week 2, we're just going to quickly change this. Actually, can we get off this screen? No, I have to see that screen in the background. Great. Okay, so we're going to look at week 2 anyway. What we expect to see, not in Oceania, that's not our zone, boys and girls. We're not going to try and do predictions there just yet. But over in EU and NA, let's have a little look at the two teams that are going to be facing off against each other this first week and give predictions as to where we expect them to go. First game of the day, upcoming Stars versus London Conspiracy, or the split is the option. Let's look at the rosters in general. Upcoming Stars had a lot of roster changes, look pretty good in the Challenger scene with their additions. London Conspiracy, however, still haven't officially announced their solo laner yet. Steefy Beefy is classed as a sub there at the moment, but he's not permanently been put into that role just yet. So we're not exactly sure whether he's going to be starting for them or whether he isn't going to be starting for them, just be playing in the sub role. Will they get a different solo laner? Not sure. Snakeskin, untried in the jungle, has had some success in scrims from what I understand. Where would you put your money here? Both teams got to have a rocky path. A lot of changes to both rosters to an extent. Without Suntouch, I think that guy's a bit of a backbone for the team. People may not think so, but Suntouch does bring something to the table that London Conspiracy kind of needed. I'm actually going to vote 2-0 to London Conspiracy here. After their last season's performance, I think their performance was good enough for them to be able to carry this on into the next split. Shaggy Shank and Emilzy, very, very strong players. If Snakeskin can work out well in the jungle alongside Arrow in mid lane, I think they'll have the time and still be able to 2-0 this set. So I'm going to put my points into London Conspiracy for this one. There is a chance Stars could take a game here. I just think it's going to take them a while to warm up this season, especially with a new roster again. I don't see high hopes of them breaking out into the top 4. London Conspiracy, however, they could potentially make it. Further down the list, Paradigm versus Epsilon Esports. Paradigm coming off the back of a great LAN for them. They didn't have the greatest of seasons through and through. Neither did Epsilon, however. Epsilon very upset with how their performance went throughout the LAN. Throughout the season. Obviously, they had the Rafa ban. Rafa ban did not help them out at all. Caused them a fuck ton of issues, and that's why we see them in the position they're in this season, where they want to try and make it worlds. Obviously, both these teams are world contenders to try and make it through. I actually think this game is pretty even on paper. I believe Epsilon can definitely take games off Paradigm, and Paradigm can definitely take games off of Epsilon. What I'm going to do here is I'm definitely going to split. I see this one going 1-1 overall between the two teams. I don't predict that we'll see anything crazier happen there other than a split happening. Maybe one could 2-0 quite simply, but I think it's more likely we're going to see a split here. 1-1 is more than likely. Elevate versus Eager up next on the block. It's the first North American game of the week. Elevate, new roster, formerly known as Yomi, did make it into the SPL after defeating the old enemy. Had a great performance there, honestly. 3-1 was a good performance tagline for them. They look very strong, however, I don't see them taking the games off Eager. Eager's season is here and now. This is their chance to shine. They have to shine too. I think Eager's going to come smashing out of the blocks this week and take 2 big wins for themselves. So my points are going to go to Eager here. They need these wins too, so I predict they'll get them. They want to stay in contention and get themselves for a world spot. Eager really has to knuckle down and beat these teams that they should, on paper, have an easy time against. So Eager 2-0 for me. TSM against Denial next on the cards there. You can see Denial had a pretty good season. TSM, though, started to shine once again at the LAN once they got themselves going. Managed to get themselves through into a decent spot once more. Got to go with TSM here over Denial. Denial do have the ability to take a game, but I still think the safer option is going to be to go for the TSM 2-0, which is the more likely of the groups to happen. Dignitas versus Madans. Now Madans, on paper, new team, couple of Frenchies on it. Get Fisher as well from UK, sorry, as well as they've got Mogao in the solo lane, and they've got a few other members of the team. I think their backbone, honestly, is going to be their duo lane in not Vetium. Is it Vetium? Maybe it's Vetium. No, that's Vetium. That's NA. Oh, who is it? Jermaine. It's Jermaine and Dardes. Jermaine and Dardes are the teammates of Myrmidons that you want to look out for. The thing is, Jermaine and Dardes have been together for a very long time. They played very well for the Challengers Cup together. They're going to be up against Frezzy and Irons. Irons, the newest edition of Team Dignitas. Will they do well? I predict Dignitas should win this game over Myrmidons. Could go 1-1, but my money's going to be on Dignitas 2-0 in this one. Myrmidons going to have an interesting start to the season. Dignitas need to win this game, just like Eager. They want to have a shot at getting to Worlds. They need to beat these lower-ended teams where they're expected to win. Further down the list, finally, the last two games. Enemy up against Cognitive. Enemy, formerly known as Legion of Carrots, Pain de Vion, and his new roster that he switched most of his teams out. The only member of the team that's still on that roster, I believe, is Vetium or Vetium, whichever way you want to call it. And Pain de Vion are the two original members of the Legion of Carrots that are now known as Enemy, up against Cognitive Gaming. Cognitive Gaming didn't have the greatest of seasons. They still, though, I feel Cognitive Gaming have the power to win this one outright. Enemy is a roster that is still untried in the SPL, let's be honest. They've got a couple of members that have been in the SPL before in different roles. However, they've got to start the synergy. They've got to start. This is a building season for this Enemy squad, and for them to have any real luck, they have to consistently perform. I think Cognitive Gaming are going to be ready for this one, though. I predict Cognitive will take the 2-0 here. Final game of the week. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Cognitive AFK up against Cloud9. These two teams been at each other's throats multiple times. Cloud9 did not have a great LAN. Rip Barracuda. Sickness is a bad thing. It hurts us all sometimes. Didn't help them out. Did they look okay even without Barracuda? Well, yeah. I mean, the synergy was still there between the boys. They tried a couple of different things. Thanks for the invite, Topsy. Good job, girl. But yeah, I think with that Cloud9 will come out firing, but AFK just seem to be in this zone right now where AFK is the top team in North America. Do I see that really changing anytime soon? Potentially, but I don't see AFK really dropping this one. I'm actually, though, going to go for a split here. I think the split is the most likely thing to happen in this game between these two teams. I don't think one team's going to get overall control over the other. So, split is what I'm going to call for here, and that's going to be your week 2, officially week 1, because week 1 was just the Titan versus Fnatic game. Your official week 2 standpoint here. So quick rundown: Conspiracy to Win, Split, Eager, TSM, Dignitas, Cognitive, and a split between AFK Gaming and Cloud9. This is my personal view. Last season I did pretty well for myself. I can show that on the screen. Can I show that? Let's have a little look through the summer quickly. What did I get there? I got 12 out of 16, 12 out of 16, 14 out of 16, 11 out of 16, 13 out of 16, 13 out of 16, 11 out of 16. So I'm always getting above 10 right. If you want to follow me and try and track my record, then you'll be fine. You'll probably get some decent points. Maybe you have your other options if you don't agree. Leave comments and messages if you don't agree. Good luck in your fantasy drafts this week.